Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sick Beats with Jared and Sofia. I'm Jared.
And I'm Sofia.
For those of you who may be new, Sick Beats with Jared and Sofia is an interactive podcast. We're like a book club, but for music.
Yeah, every week we pick a new album to go over with you guys, tell you our thoughts, and update our Sick Beats charts.
Every week on Wednesdays before the podcast, we announce the album we're talking about. So you have plenty of time to go check it out yourself. So then when you're listening to the podcast, you know what we're talking about. And you can also contribute your thoughts and feelings about what we're listening to on our social medias, which are at Sick Beats with JS.
Not SJ.
On any social media platform. Before we talk about the album, we just want to talk about a little bit of stuff that's happening in music this week. We kind of like to pull out what we've seen. Something that I think is very interesting and exciting is Industry Baby by Lil Nas X and Jack Harlow went number 1 on the Billboard charts this week.
Woo!
I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I saw on Twitter that he was celebrating by like driving around Hollywood.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. He was on a double-decker bus performing Industry Baby on the top of it. Jack Harlow wasn't there, but there was one of the background dancers wearing a Jack Harlow mask.
Oh my God.
It was really funny.
Oh, that's really funny. I love that. I just think it's really funny that he was driving around the streets of LA being like, thank you for making my song number 1. I just really want to be the person who's like, who are you on the street? You know? Yeah. But that's super cool and very fun. I'm very happy to see him winning.
I also found out that the city of Atlanta did like a little proclamation yesterday and declared October 20th Lil Nas X Day.
Can they make it a national holiday?
Oh my gosh.
Can we get school off? I know I won't be in school next October 20th. But
email my professors and be like, I'm sorry, I'm taking a leave.
Sorry, I can't do it.
It's Lil Nas X Day. I can't.
That's really fun. I saw that people were really heated about it online. Some girl was like, my birthday's ruined now. Somebody was like, you're probably boring birthday. Anyways. Yeah, be born a different day. Who do you think you are?
Did your city proclaim that National your birthday was your day? No, change it.
I know last week we kind of mentioned at the end of our, oh my God, everything is coming out at once rant that Phineas was dropping an album. Sophia, have you listened to it yet?
I have listened to it. I actually listened to it the other day. And it's pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you.
Nice.
One of the songs from his album called Optimist, by the way, appears in my chart this week. But you'll have to go to our social medias or on Spotify to find my full chart and see what song it is.
What an amazing plug.
Our social medias are at Sick Beats with JS.
Not SJ.
Last week, I think we also mentioned that we were super excited about Adele's single Easy on Me coming out. We listened to it after recording last week's episode, and spoiler alert, we're both obsessed with it.
Oh my God, Sophia.
It's so good. In the music video, she's leaving the house from Hello.
Which she built in Rolling in the Deep.
Yes. It's like at the end of an era.
I don't want to get too deep into the song because, spoiler alert, we'll be talking about it later.
It's amazing.
But I do want to talk about the music video. It's all in like that sepia black and white tone. Mm-hmm. And then the final chorus, she's sitting on her chair as she does. Mm-hmm. And she's singing this song. And all of a sudden it goes from black and white to color. And she's wearing this like really rich red dress. Mm-hmm. And I fell over.
Jared
I had
screamed.
to pause the video. I literally screamed. It was too much. I also screamed because I was like, if she goes in, I called
you said it at the beginning.
I was like, she's going to go into color.
And then it happened.
And then she did.
And you screamed and you almost fell out of your stool.
My stool.
We were sitting on stools.
Stool. I'm very excited for November 19th? 17th?
November 19th?
19th. November 19th, yeah.
How dare you not know that date by heart?
That is another national holiday.
You're talking to an Adele stan.
Normally when we choose an album for this podcast, they tend to be pretty recent. Albums that we've never heard before. Albums that we're hyped for. But this week we decided to be different.
We're trying something new.
We're not like the other episodes this week.
Oh my God.
So I was talking to my roommate and I was like, we kind of want to do an album that we've both listened to in the past and like revisit it. And my roommate goes, oh my God, you should listen to Future Friends by Superfruit. And not even 3 minutes later, Sofia texts me, What if we listen to Future Friends by Superfruit this week?
Because I was in my living room talking to my lovely boyfriend about how every 5 albums that we want to do a throwback album. And Damian was like, oh, do Superfruit. And I was like, yes. And so I texted Jared, and then he was like, yes, let's do it.
I cried. I just thought it was so funny how everybody was like, you should listen to this album. It was like the universe was throwing it at us.
Yeah.
Like TikTok was trending a song on this album, so then we would have to talk about it.
I did not know that.
Oh, well.
Until you told me about it.
Yeah, there is a song on this album that is trending on TikTok right now.
I mean, I know which one it is because you talked about it, but I'm not a TikToker. So if this goes well, let us know, and we'll continue after every 5 albums. We'll do a throwback.
Yeah. Future Friends by Superfruit. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I first, before we go into the album, I just want to mention that I found their YouTube channel before Future Friends came out.
Oh, same.
They have a YouTube channel. It's for those of you that don't know, Superfruit is a partnership of 2 members of Pentatonics, which I know everyone knows about because they're really popular.
My favorite Christmas group.
But it is Scott Hoying and Mitch Grassi. They had a YouTube channel together called Superfruit, and they decided to make music together, which I think was a wonderful decision.
A great decision. I have been a big fan of them for as long as I can remember, honestly.
Yeah.
I was really into Pentatonics. I got into them around their like Volume 3 EP, if that rings any bells to anybody listening. I saw them in concert, and then I was watching Superfruit videos with my girlfriend at the time. Shocker. And then I got really obsessed.
Yeah, I think my mom loves Pentatonics, still to this day loves Pentatonics. I saw them, well, actually, both me and my mother's first time seeing them was on that a cappella like competition show.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember the sing off. Yes. We watched them and we were like, oh my gosh, they're like the best group. And then I don't think they ended up winning. I don't remember. I think I was like very young.
I think they may have won.
I feel like they got really far, but then they didn't win.
I don't know.
But then they like got popular.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was a really long time ago.
All I know is they sang E.T. by Katy Perry.
Yes.
And Mitch was like, this is transcendental. I was like, okay.
Yes, Mitch. Exposing myself, I'm not a huge fan of Pentatonics, like at all.
That's a sin.
I'm sorry. My mother will be upset with me. My buddy Alex will be upset with me for that. But
Scott Hoying will be upset.
I mean, if it comes on, I'll listen to it. Anyways, we're not talking about this. I don't remember how I ran into Superfruit. I think it was like evolution of Miley Cyrus, maybe?
That's a good one.
Evolution of something. I don't remember. Evolution of Lady Gaga, maybe. But then I started watching their videos religiously.
This was a part of my weekly routine.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Welcome to the best show on the internet. Like...
Yeah.
Amazing.
So yeah, Future Friends was like kind of hinted, like I want to say end of 2016, early 2017. They dropped the song Bad for Us. And we're going to talk about all the tracks eventually. Yeah. They dropped a music video for Bad for Us, and it was fun. It was like their heads floating on a green screen.
And like Mitch was bald.
Mm-hmm. I remember illegally downloading that song from YouTube to MP3 and putting it on my Apple like music app so I could listen to it all the time because I was obsessed.
Yeah.
And then they announced that they were like, coming soon. And I'm like, oh God, please stop. I'm not ready. They dropped like another song. I think it was called The Sweet Life. It didn't end up on any of their like streaming platforms.
Yeah, I never listened to that one.
It's good. It's a bop. It kind of needs to be on streaming services.
Maybe I'm not a true fan.
Fake fan.
Scott, Mitch, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
But then eventually they announced Future Friends. And they released this album as 2 sets of EPs.
Yes.
Future Friends Part 1 and Future Friends Part 2. And then eventually on September 15th of 2017, they combined both EPs and added 2 tracks on top of it to create this 16-track album. It runs about 56 minutes long, and it is pure pop.
Yes, if you do not like pop music, steer clear of this album.
I'm so sorry.
It is like pop crack.
To kind of summarize this album, there's not really like an overarching story that you see in music nowadays in albums. This is very much a debut album. The songs are kind of all over the place. They sonically are staying in like, they have like a distinct sound. The beginning of the album is kind of like talking about like being in like with somebody, and the end of the album talks about like hardships and relationships, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's just great vibes, fantastic pop music. I love it. This was an album that got me through a lot of stuff in high school.
Yes, this album came out when Jared and I were both in high school.
Yeah, I was in my senior year of high school, and I was still figuring out, do I like men? ... LOL, bye.
Spoiler alert, yes.
Yes. High school senior year, Jared, if you're listening to this, yes, you do like men. Bye.
I was a sophomore in high school when this came out. And now Jared's a senior in college and I'm a sophomore in college. So we're coming really full circle with this album. And yeah, I think it also came out at a very important time for me. Not because I was figuring a ton of stuff out, but because like their energy is kind of what I needed. They have personalities that really draw you in. And they have really good chemistry together. If you have seen them do anything together, they're super funny and they just like love each other so much. And that energy from their YouTube channel like really comes into this album, and their experience from Pentatonics really like put deep roots into this album to make it something that would stand out as a debut project. Yes. If that makes sense. One really impressive thing that I forgot to revisit as part of revisiting this album is that they made a music video for every single song.
The budget. How did they make money off this project?
I don't know.
I mean, Guy.exe kind of broke the budget because every music video that came after that was just them in front of like a solid background. Yeah. Because like there was so much that happened in the music video.
There really was.
That was such a great strategy for the longevity of this album, because every week I was still listening to this album because I was hyped for the next music video. Yeah. I watched them religiously.
Yeah, me too.
And they had like little intermissions, and they're like, because when they were releasing the music videos, that was still like in the EP eras of the album. So there was like intermission 1, and then that's when they started teasing all the songs from part 2 of Future Friends. The whole strategy behind creating this album is a masterpiece.
It kept you in, it kept you invested, and you just like wanted more.
Which
is exactly what I felt, and I'll go through this when I talk about my overall thoughts. But revisiting their channel and this album just like left me wanting more from them. They haven't posted in about 3 years.
They really went MIA. Like they fully invested in the Pentatonics at that point. I think they look, I don't know. I don't want to like speculate too much about it because they are real humans. But
I just like miss it.
I miss it too.
Because like there was a whole era, I think, while they were working on all this music stuff where their videos started to get shorter and shorter and shorter. And like I remember being really like sad by that. Because I was like, oh, like this is what I look forward to like every single week. And like even though it's like a 6-minute video or like a 4-minute video, I don't care.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Last track.
Last track.
We start this album off with a track called Imaginary Parties. All I have written down is just yes, 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 yes.
This song is so good. It is a party. The beat plays into that. I don't know. There's just so much energy in it. And not necessarily regarding this song, but I do want to mention that when they're singing about like more romantical subjects, I never think of it as them singing to each other, but they are telling the same story. Yeah. Because I feel like when duos like sing together, like I'm picturing Oh Wonder. Like I feel like they are a couple and they are singing to each other whenever they sing about like love or wanting someone or whatever. But Scott and Mitch, like I don't get that vibe. Like they just are two people telling the same story.
I agree. This song starts off with just like a great showcase of what both of them can do vocally. Yes. Mitch is singing in the stratosphere, as Mitch does. Scott is singing with his like rich vocals as he does.
Yes.
The song plays with silence in a way that was like never off-putting, but just like, okay, where are we going?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. This song opens with like a modified version of the end of the chorus, and there's no music behind it. And it's just like the vocal layering and all the harmonies and all of that. And you just like are left with that for a second. And it's so good. And then the song starts and the beat kicks in and you're like, okay.
The music video is very fun. It's very colorful. Everything about this song made me scream. And when I listened to the song for the first time, I remember the music video came out and I was trying to get my mom to watch it with me. And it was like the 5th time I had watched it in a row. And she's like, Jared, I don't care. like stop.
Way to
like,
call
I
it
get
your
it.
mom.
And like, I get it. Because imagine me, a 17-year-old being like, mom, you need to watch this. Mom, watch this. Mom, look at this. Can you listen to Mitch's voice? Oh my God, he can sing high. Did you know that, mom? You know?
He can sing high. Did you know that, mom? Yeah, Jared and I are both singers, which we will never explore on this podcast. But
we'll always mention it though.
What Mitch does in the stratosphere in this song, the melody is so difficult to sing. Coming from someone who has tried to sing it many times, it's so difficult to sing. And that happens in every single part of the verse.
Yeah, I miss when my voice was healthier.
Yes.
Because I used to scream in this song.
Me too. In fact, revisiting this, I like wanted to relive my old like sophomore year of high school, dancing around and like singing the crap out of this album. And I just like can't do it anymore.
I know. It's so sad.
I was like, oh no, where have the years gone?
This is just a great opening track.
Yes.
It's experimental in all the right ways. It showcases their great chemistry right off the bat. And it starts this album on such a high note that's like, oh God, where are we going from here?
Yes.
It never dwindles down in energy or in hype throughout the whole album.
I really like the bridge in this song. And there's a couple songs in this album, including the first and the last track, that have like unconventional bridges that don't have words in them, but they're like Mitch like scatting or like doing like fun things.
They're dance breaks.
Yeah.
And they're so great.
Yes, I love Mitch in this bridge. So good. I also do have written down that Scott doesn't make a whole much like a large appearance outside of the verses. And this theme, like, I didn't realize this until I was revisiting it, but Scott does not make many appearances in this album.
He kind of like, this sounds so mean. Don't take it this way. He fades into the background, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like that's where his like vocals are being thrown in the most. He's working in those harmonies. He's bringing in the ad libs and he's bringing in the chemistry between him and Mitch when it's like really needed on a track.
He also kills the ad libs in every single song.
Every single song.
He murders them. Like
I mean, this man will do a riff until the day he dies.
Yes.
I'm convinced he's riffing 24/7. And there are parts on the album where we really get to hear. You're still laughing.
I'm sorry. No, wait. I just imagined him like answering the phone and he's like, hello.
I'd like a pizza. Hold the pepperoni.
I'm vegan.
There are moments on this album where he does get his moment.
Yes.
And we do get to hear more vocals from him. It's just not as frequent as we get to hear Mitch.
Moving on to the last track of this album, we listed the last track as the song Everything. Because the last track on this album is technically a Future Friends remix, but Future Friends is a song that appears right at the middle of the album. And since it's a remix and it's a repeat, we decided to list Everything as the last song instead.
We can talk about the remix.
This remix actually, like, it does something a little bit different with the song. But anyways.
Yeah. Everything. This song makes me ascend to the highest heights. This song starts off with just a series of Mitch and Scott singing la 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 la.
And it's so good.
And I need more of it. Everything is a little bit more laid back from the whole album.
Yes, I have written down that it's so smooth and easy. OMG.
Yeah, the song is very laid back, and as a outro to the album, it like is perfect. It gives you like a moment to kind of like bask in the glory that is this album, in all honesty. Sophia mentioned it earlier. This album features a lot of like bridges that are more like a breakdown and less of like your standard bridge. And this breakdown feels like heaven to me.
It's beautiful. I have this written down in all caps. My notes are in all caps for this bridge because I'm obsessed with it. I have written down layering, great. Harmonies, great. The beat behind it, great. Mitch scatting, great. Great.
No, I feel that. Everything about this breakdown is perfect. It's mixed flawlessly. It creates such a great vibe that like more words wouldn't be able to give you. This song kind of gives me a bit of like the crushing stage of a relationship. You're kind of like daydreaming about like that someone and you're like excited about what comes next and you just want to give your everything. See what I did there? That's the title.
Oh my gosh, that's so smart and funny and silly. Going back to us talking about Scott in this album, Scott's voice in this particular song really helps like ground everything. It keeps it really smooth. It keeps it like running and moving forward. They both sound so good together in this one.
If this was a single person singing, I don't think it would hit the same.
I agree.
Their voices just complement each other so well, is what I'm trying to say.
Not to bring up a wonder for the second time in this one episode, but I feel the same way about them too. I don't know their names in that group. The deeper voice really, really grounds and complements the higher voice. And they sound really good together and they complement each other really well. There's a thing that, I have it written down as Mitch, but I assume that Scott is somewhere below him. I'm so sorry, Scott. There's a slide that they do on the words ground and off. They're at different points in the song, but like it's the same like kind of pre-chorus thing. So the ground one is so I can hit the ground running. And then
I know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yes.
I was confused for a second.
Let me find the off one.
Look at us, we're off running.
The off one is we're off and running, and the slide there is so satisfying. Like you can't help but like just close your eyes and kind of ride that vocally. Everything
about this song makes me just happy. It makes me want to listen to it. I honestly think this is the best song on the whole album.
Not the giggle. Hot take.
Sorry, this song just does it for me.
The song is amazing.
In every way I could possibly have it do something for me. Yeah. So yeah, that's where the album grabs us, and then that's where the album leaves us. So moving on, we're going to talk about some of our favorite tracks on this album.
Jared, what's your first favorite track?
I'm glad you asked.
I have to ask.
You have to. My first favorite track on this album is Bad For Us. We talked about it earlier. This is a song I illegally downloaded when it first came out, before this album was even a thing to the public's eyes.
Jared, that's my first favorite track too.
Oh
Isn't that just so crazy?
I feel like this is a pattern. Bad For Us tells a story about how they are scared of being hurt by a relationship, but they want it. And they don't care anymore. They've been hurt. LOL. It's fine. They go, this love could be bad for us, but I want it. It could be bad for us and you want it to, and I'm ready if you are. It's similar to how when I was talking about Safety Net on my charts last week, how it's like you're going into something knowing that you can be hurt, but it's at the end of the day, like that's life. And you have to take that risk. And when you meet that someone that you really want to take that risk for, you've got to jump into it without any fear. And I think this song really captures that well.
The first note I have written down for this song is in the middle of the first pre-chorus. And the pre-chorus is just, why can't I take you off my mind? With you, I've never felt more alive.
Yeah.
And in the middle of those two lines, Mitch says, you're my knight in shining armor. And I am obsessed with that. Ever since I listened to this song for the first time, that one specific little ad lib just has stuck with me for like 4 years now. This album's been out for 4 years. I love it. It's so fun. And you'll hear me say this for so many of the songs on this album. They're all just so fun. And it's things like that where the energy like from their YouTube channel kind of creeps in. And it's so fun. You're my knight in shining armor. He says it in a fun voice too. Yeah. Anyways.
That happens later on in like the bridge too. They're like, what are you waiting for? Or like something like that.
He says, what a cute boy.
Yeah, what a cute boy. I know English. Those little things, those little bits of personality on the tracks bring it to a different level that like, especially in 2017, I was not getting from music. Bad For Us is great. That's all I have on it, really. It's so good. It's just so fun.
I really love the bridge in this song. This is a song with a conventional bridge. It's got words in it. The melody in the bridge, like where it goes, is really fun. And the bridge goes, what's the matter, baby? Forget all the rules we're breaking. Put on some old school Britney, because baby, you got me crazy.
Oh,
it's so good. And they say it multiple times. And on the last time, Mitch takes that word crazy and he runs with it. And then they bring it right back down into the last chorus. And it's so good.
I wish I could experience that bridge for the first time again.
Yeah.
My God. It's just the lyricism behind it, the astronomically high note that Mitch just somehow sings with ease, no effort.
And then once they get back down into that last chorus, Scott is like, wait, let me take this. Does one of his riffs.
Scott's like, bitch, you know I can sing too, right? Get out of here, Mitch. It's Scott's turn.
The next song on my favorites list is a song called Worth It, parentheses, Perfect. I was debating putting this one in my favorites. Spoiler alert, Jared and I both love this album, and we both had a really hard time picking ones to be our like designated favorites.
Yeah.
The reason why this one stood out to me was because of the chorus. I'm in love with the chorus of this song. I don't know. I think that the lyrics are like smart. Like I love the pull and push. For those of you that don't know, the chorus says, you pulled me under, gave me something I never had, pushed me over with no time to push back. I've never felt so good or so bad. I can't say the next part.
Went to hell and back?
Yes. But it was worth it. And it was perfect. And no, I don't regret it.
This chorus is perfect.
Yes.
I spaced out a little bit because I was just remembering the music video for this
yes,
song.
This is the one where they're like, there's kids in it, right?
This music video broke boundaries for 2017. Hot take. This music video featured two like younger kids dancing, like younger dancers. The boy is wearing a dress and the girl is wearing a suit. The way that it has nothing to do with the song, but it is so perfect. It's just like the small little things. I love this song. That's all I can say about it. But it is a great favorite to have. This song again kind of holds the pattern from everything where it's like Scott's vocals here are just kind of grounding Mitch's and they complement each other so well. The writing is so good. I literally have a hard time talking about it.
The lyrics in this song are amazing. I'm obsessed with the start of the second verse in this song. I think it's so good because the melody does something different in it. But they go, and I'm not the only one riding shotgun these days in your car. Not trying to change you, babe, so keep on. And on the word riding, they do something fun with the melody.
Mm-hmm. It's a very good riff there. And this production is simple, like very simplistic in like the verses and stuff. And it starts off very simple, just like one instrument going boop ba doop ba doo.
And there's a hey that like echoes in the beat, and I really like that. And usually I don't like there's a song that I'll talk about later that has something weird in the beat that bothers me when they're not singing over it.
Sophia, what's your next favorite song?
My next favorite song is Sexy Ladies.
I love it.
This song is so fun. I think that my mom would like this song. For those of you that don't know, my mother graciously listens to our podcast and talks to me about it. And she listens to a couple songs from every single album that we go over before she listens.
my God, hi, Sophia's mom.
Yes, I hope she listens to this episode, but I feel like she would like this song. I've written down, just a gay man you meet at the club that wants to help you get revenge on your ex. No biggie.
Amen.
Because I just think it's so funny and it's so fun. I really like the lyric, I'm just here to make your ex-man jealous. Dance the night away with me. I can keep you warm, be the candy on your arm. So let's take a shot or two, dance the night away with you. I love that the way that they use parallels in lyrics. Like this line starts off with dance the night away with me and it ends with dance the night away with you. And I just think that's really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their lyrics are really good. I specifically really like the second verse. Scott says he will never make a move on you.
Yes.
But he heard your brother's pretty cute. And I remember listening to this and I was like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know anybody who has a brother who would be appropriate for me to date. So that sucks for me for the relatability factor of the song.
but it's like fun.
What a great vibe. And like I can feel the studio energy in that line. I can feel him giving a little flirty wave and winking as he's singing this line.
Because he opens that verse with like, girl, I'll be sleeping in your bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ooh, spicy. But I won't ever make a move
spicy.
on you.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
I like your
Where's
brother.
your brother?
Yes, this is the gay best friend anthem that 2017 needed.
Yeah. Also, I have written down that Scott and Mitch work together on this song. Just like Imaginary Parties, Scott gets a verse to himself.
That is very true.
And one thing that I do appreciate is that when Scott does get his moment, Mitch usually isn't singing on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like doing ad-libs in the background.
Yeah.
Whereas when Mitch gets a verse, Scott is always underneath. So I just think that's interesting.
Because the line distribution on the album is very tilted to Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do get a moment with Scott, you get a moment with Scott.
Yes. He lets you know that it's his moment.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the ad-libs on they really knew what they were doing with these ad-libs.
Mm-hmm. There are two vocalists that just were like, hey, do you want to show off on this track? Yeah, man. Okay. I'm going to do this, you do that. Okay. And then they created magic.
Yes. Jared, what's your next favorite song?
This song makes my little baby gay heart scream. This song is called Heartthrob.
I love this song.
I remember when the snippets for this song came out, I was like, that's it. That's the only song. There's no other songs on this EP. It's only Heartthrob hours.
It's so good. I used to scream this song.
It is so good.
And the bridge, just because we've been talking about the bridges for every single song, the bridge on this song is so screamable. They spell out the name of the song, which is Heartthrob. And then they start talking about NSYNC.
Yeah.
And I had never noticed because, for this podcast, I pull out lots of lyrics.
Yeah.
I was looking at the lyrics because I've never really known. I knew that they mentioned Justin Timberlake because they say JT. And I'm like, oh, yes, they're talking about NSYNC. I've always known that they were talking about NSYNC, but I finally went to go look and make sure. And I didn't realize that, they spell out Heartthrob, then they say Joey, Lance, and JT, and then they say maybe Chris after a couple drinks. You don't have to drag Chris like that.
Yeah.
And then the next time they do the same thing, they spell out Heartthrob, they say Joey, Lance, and JT, and then they say don't forget JC, he could really sing.
It's so good. And this song stands alone, but pairing the song with the music video concept they gave it.
Yes.
All I can think about is this song 24/7 when I think about this album.
It's so good. I love, there's a line in the chorus that says, be your angsty teen, let you break my, and then they go into Heartthrob.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, or whatever.
It's so good. The music video concept is them in robes, painting their nails, having a little girls' night out, a little summer party. This song is very unapologetically queer. Everything from the way they place their voice. The tones and inflections are just a little bit more dramatic and flamboyant.
Yeah.
Everything about the song is just very fun and playful. I remember watching this music video and one of my friends and I were really liking the song in the music video. And I was like, oh my God, we need to recreate this music video and have a little crazy sleepover. And so when I was listening to this album again, I ended up texting him and I was like, oh, well, remember this song? It was a good time. I wrote specifically this chorus from the pre-chorus to the chorus, it goes, I want you to be my 90s heartthrob. The frosted tips in the middle part. Tiger Beats said he's off the charts.
Yes.
I don't know. There's something about like all the little 90s references.
Yes.
Every like little bit, every little lyric is like planned out perfectly here.
I love in the second verse where Mitch says, I'll go through your trapper keeper, because nobody calls them trapper keepers anymore. Yeah. But it's so fun. And what you mentioned about their where they place their vocals is really playful. I was going to mention something like that. It's just, it adds to the fun of it all. It's so playful. It's so light. And it like, I just think that Mitch's voice in this, like I have written down that Mitch is the main character in this song. Sorry, Amen. Scott. Mitch is the main character in this song, and I don't care. There's something about the way that he just so playfully says things in like the verses and things.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like he's not singing, he's talking and like flirting, and like it's just so cute and fun.
Yeah. This song is so flirtatious.
And then there's also, again, he bodies the transition from the bridge to the last chorus.
Amen.
He takes you into the last chorus with a big like, yeah. And it's so good. It's so good.
The way you said it sounds so anticlimactic, but it's like a huge run.
The thing is, you guys, it's very hard for Jared and I to describe so many things in these songs without just like bursting into song.
You don't want to hear it. So
please bear with us.
It feels like a pop song that shouldn't it feels like a song that should not be taken seriously, but it's such a perfect pop song.
Yeah.
That like, even though it's a little campy, it's a little theatrical, it doesn't matter. Because it sounds so good. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. It's a 100% grade A bop.
I think that there's a school bell in the beat, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
And that also just kind of like plays into the story of this song. And it's just so good. This song is everything.
My next favorite song is Deny You. This song is a little bit more serious than a lot of the songs. The instrumental is a little bit lower.
Yeah.
It goes from like all these fun songs about like being in love or like having fun and like crushing on like your celebrity crush to being like, I like being in love with you. It might be falling apart, but I want to keep that. And that's like where this song kind of exists the entire time. I love the whole pre-chorus.
I love the pre-chorus in this song.
It's so good.
The pre-chorus says, can't count the times that you crossed over the line, but it don't get easier. And it stopped being fun, but we don't trigger the gun and it don't get easier. Now you got what you need. I should be relieved, but it don't get easier. It goes on and on and on. You're still the one, the one, the one. And then it goes into the chorus. It's just so good. And the chorus, like the pre-chorus is really heavy and it's packed. And then the chorus in reflection or in parallel to that is really simple.
Yes.
And it's like the kind of the same thing over and over.
The production goes dumb on the chorus too.
Yes.
I mean, this pre-chorus is like, there's a lot of words there and it's not very long. So they're singing kind of fast. And then like the pre-chorus ends with like a sound in the background that goes like womp. Everything comes in. And then the second verse I wrote down, they sing, you felt this one coming and so did I. I felt you fall back, but I can't let go.
Yes.
I just like it. It just sounds good. And this is a Mitch heavy song. You barely hear Scott on this track. But when Scott comes in, he's throwing in some harmonies that really complete it. All of the ad-libs on this song are great. Mitch is really just staying in the atmosphere with his vocals always, but they get more and more intricate and intense the longer the song goes on, which keeps me interested and keeps me wanting more. There's
a specific ad-lib that Mitch does where he's like, hey, baby, but like in the stratosphere.
Yes.
And I love that one.
It's so good.
I have Deny You written as an honorable mention. Just wanted to put that out there. The pre-chorus I have written is super strong. I'm obsessed with the song. I don't know what it was about it that didn't push it up into those favorites. Maybe because it's a little bit darker than the rest. And I think maybe I just wanted to keep my favorites really light.
It does stand out from the rest of the album. I mean, this one and like a few other tracks get kind of serious and talk about like a little bit of hardships.
Yeah.
But this album is mainly like a party. So it's like that one girl at the party. I'm sad, you know? So we go in chronological order for our favorite tracks. And it just so happens that these couple of tracks are just back to back to back. So you're going to hear a lot of me. I'm sorry. But my next favorite track is Goodbye from Lonely. This one comes after Deny You immediately. And it's like the breakup is imminent. Everything is like it's happening at this point. This is another song where you get a Mitch verse and then a Scott verse.
Yes, and I love those songs. They're such special moments.
This song is super laid back, but not sad. Not a lot is happening in like a good way.
One thing I like about this song, not only is that Scott and Mitch are working together and they are going back to back on verses, but I like that Scott starts us off.
Yeah, that was what I was just about to say. Yeah. That was what I had to look up. It starts with Scott, and Scott is singing about like the beginning of like a relationship situation, like reminiscing on like the great stuff in the first date. And then it goes in the pre-chorus where Mitch comes in. And they go, it knocks me off my feet. I'm coming apart and I can't breathe. Every part of me was tethered to what we used to be. And the whole chorus is just like asking questions about like, what am I doing? Like, what did I do wrong? It is so devastating. Yeah. It ends with, what do I do? Having run out of time, I am one goodbye from lonely. And then the instrumental kind of kicks in, and the instrumental really like, I think contrasts this like it does, content.
But it also like drives the song. It keeps it moving. It like, I don't want to say it makes you less depressed, but it keeps you going.
Yeah, like the verses are very like melancholy, and it just like the instrumental is like melancholy but upbeat. The second verse we get Mitch, and it's talking about like something is wrong in the relationship. Yes. I wrote specifically, I can feel the distance in between us, like the old us doesn't exist.
And another thing about that specific line, Scott comes in on the I can feel the distance. And when he comes in right there, it's like a goosebump moment. Yeah. Like BRB crying in the club, I'm curled up in a ball on the ground.
That idea of like the oldest doesn't exist hurts. Somebody stabbed me and then twisted that knife when they wrote those lyrics.
Yeah. And also like what Mitch opens with, something about the last kiss felt so different than the first kiss on my lips. Like, oh my goodness, what happened in this poor relationship? Like something went wrong.
Yeah. This song, like I said, this song is devastating.
Yeah.
And then we go to the breakdown and it's Mitch and Scott scatting and ad-libbing. And it's just like, it contrasted so much because the scat just sounds so like upbeat and happy.
Doesn't it match the little guitar riff in the beat?
Yeah, it does. This was a song that I would click first when listening to this album in 2017. And it hasn't lost any of its charm. It hasn't lost any of its appeal for me.
It's so good.
All right, my last favorite song is Guy.exe to finish the trilogy of songs. This just be gay men doing gay things. I have this bridge in all caps because Mitch just delivers this so flirty, so playfully, and it is the only thing I think about when I think about this song. Mitch goes, I've been looking high and low for a man who's just right.
And it's like, ha, ha.
Oh my God, yes. And treats me mighty fine.
And then he comes in with like a which I won't do because it's up in the stratosphere, but it like adds to the mood.
There is so much layering in this bridge. And then it ends with, so come on, baby, show me what you got, in a huge guitar riff.
And it's so good. It's like the bridge builds so nicely leading up to that guitar riff.
This whole song just screams budget, and that reflects in the music video. This song is currently very popular on TikTok, especially the part in the chorus where they go 6 feet tall and super strong. We always get along, because this whole song is talking about like, if they were to build a guy, this is what the guy would be.
Yes, and that's what happens in the music video.
Yes.
Mitch is like a mad scientist in it, right?
And builds Scott.
Yes. I can picture myself watching this for the first time in 2017 and like looking through the comments, and they're like, I knew it, they're dating, because that was like the rumor.
I was one of those toxic bitches who was like, they're dating,
waiting for them to announce that they're dating.
When are they gonna marry? But I was delusional. And like I said, it was toxic in me. They're real human beings, and I'm sure that put strain on their relationship. There was just something, they have good chemistry and they are friends. That's all I'm saying there. The second verse I pointed out specifically, they get a little scandalous on this track. They go, I need a man who don't get jealous unless I want him to. A gentleman to take care of me in the bedroom.
The way they sing this next part in this verse.
Yes. Romantic love, but keep it rough. Am I asking too much?
Scott and Mitch both like deliver vocals on romantic love but keep it rough. It's like vampire vibes. Does that make sense?
I like it. Yeah.
Like the way that they're
Spooky.
pronouncing their words and like choosing their vowels and things.
Oh yeah, very like count.
Yeah.
This song is similar to Heartthrob, where it's like very theatrical.
Yes.
But it's pure pop perfection.
Yeah.
I'm glad this is the song on the project that is resurging in popularity.
I think it's time to interject my opinion on this song.
Oh.
I'm obsessed with this song.
Okay.
No. Because I have things to say and I have a hot take.
Okay.
I loved this song so much when this album came out. I still love this song. I think it's so fun. Like we're saying, it's theatrical. The music video like adds to it. However, when I look at this song on Apple Music does this thing where it puts a star next to the most popular songs from every album. Guy.exe is the only song from this album that has a star.
Oh, that's robbery.
Yes.
This whole album should have a star.
It makes me so unbelievably upset that the only reason that this is the only song that has a star is because it ended up on TikTok, and TikTok is where things go to die. I don't know if you guys know. I don't like TikTok. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I don't get it. I don't get it. Seeing that that's the only song, anyway, that made it go from one of my favorites to an honorable mention because it made me angry.
Oh my God.
I think that this album and Scott and Mitch deserve more than for Guy.exe to be the only one to get a star.
I agree. No, I definitely agree. And I think it's very funny that like the trend for this song is a bunch of like hyper masculine men showing off their pecs and their muscles. And it's like,
meanwhile, Mitch is like making Scott as his perfect man.
Those are two gay men. They're singing over other men. And you are showing your muscles. Thank you for your service.
So the last favorite track that Jared and I have is Everything. We won't talk about it because we've already spoken about it in depth, but we just wanted to say that it's there. It's on both of our favorite track lists, just so that you guys know. Moving into honorable mentions, I'm going to skip over my first one. My first one is Imaginary Parties. We've already talked about it. The only note that I have written down is that this is an anthem. It's amazing, but it's so difficult to sing that sometimes I skip it because I can't sing Mitch's stratosphere notes and I can't sing as low as Scott.
You're not ready for the vocal exercise.
Well, I'm like a perfect like alto. Like I can't go as high as Mitch, but I can't go as low as Scott. So I'm like stuck in a really weird place. So you're just song. Like,
okay.
So that is why this is an honorable mention for me.
For honorable mentions, my next one is Vacation. All I have written down is summer, beach, yay. This song transports you to the beach and having just a fun time.
I have written down that I'm obsessed with the chorus of this song, but in my opinion, the verses just aren't as strong as the chorus is. The chorus is super fun. It literally teleports you to the beach. Jared and I live in Nebraska. Jared's originally from Illinois. So like the amount of beaches we've seen is very minimal. But you get taken there with this song.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Mitch, girly, how do you do that with your voice? Vacation, I think, goes higher than he does in any other song on this album.
That sounds correct. I mean, other than like the higher notes, maybe.
Or like his ad-libs.
Definitely very up there, but the difference is most of the times it's one note or an ad-lib. This is like a good majority of the chorus where he's like singing in dolphin notes. I love the pre-chorus a lot to this song.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming for you, baby. Let me break on you like a wave.
Yes.
Don't you pretend like you can't feel this.
The jump that Mitch does on the word don't, he like goes up and down like a wave. Oh my God, I'm so smart.
Scott also does it though.
He does.
I'm justice for Scott on that because he does it too.
He does do it too. But that line, don't you pretend that you can't feel it. It's like they go up and down. It's really fun. You should listen to it.
Yes. It's very good. The music video is also fun. It's very minimal, but they like change outfits a lot and just are having a good time. My next honorable mention is How You Feelin'. This song also has big party vibes. I love this song sonically, but I'm sorry, Scott, I need to roast you. If you're listening to this, I'm so sorry. Whenever I hear this song, I picture the music video, which is a one-shot music video. Like, it's one take. But there's a part where Scott is walking down the stairs backwards and he full on bangs his head on the ceiling while he's walking down the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
And that's all I can think about when I watch it. I think of the song.
I completely forgot that it was a one-take music video.
And I'm like, they definitely weren't going to retake the whole music video because Scott banged his head on the wall. It's just like,
well, he's like
funny.
A tall man.
I
so.
know. But it's and like, I would do the same thing.
Jared is also a tall man.
I also, when I listened to the song in high school, I felt so scandalous because they go in the chorus, heartbroken and jonesing for a nicotine rush.
Oh my
and I
gosh,
was like, nicotine?
That's so scandalous. I remember, what was that Troye Sivan song?
Is it Happy Little Pill?
Yes.
Cocaine, dollar bills.
I remember. Sorry, this is off track. Sorry, Scott.
Is that a new bit for the show?
Yes, it should be. But I remember like begging my mom to download Happy Little Pill by Troye Sivan, and she was like, no, it's about drugs.
I don't do drugs. Doja Cat featuring Ariana Grande.
Anyways, yes, they talk about nicotine in the chorus. It's
like,
crazy.
I don't have much to say about how you feeling. I just know it's such a good song and I just want to listen to it forever.
It is. It's a vibe.
Think about Scott hitting his head on the ceiling.
Sorry, Scott.
Sorry, Scott.
My next honorable mention is Hurry Up with an exclamation point. They're yelling at me.
Hurry up.
Hurry.
I agree. It's another honorable mention for me too.
This is another song where the pre-chorus is packed. It's not as packed as the one in Deny You, but it's a little more complicated. And so then the chorus kind of balances that out and it's a little more simple. Mm-hmm. When I was writing my notes for this song, I couldn't figure out how to spell the yeah. Whoa, whoa. Because I love it and it gets stuck in my head.
The lead into this chorus is very good with that pre-chorus. Lyrically, a little more complex than the pre-chorus, but the instrumental is so laid back. It's just like a couple of notes.
Yeah.
And then the chorus goes off. You get like a drop and everything. And it's just like a very good dance pop song. And then you get into that breakdown in between the chorus and the final chorus. There's like a little whiny synth in there, which is like fun. It adds a little bit of flavor into the song. I just really like the energy that carries throughout this song.
Yes.
I also like the lyrics, 4 a.m., drunk again, about to leave with someone I just met. And I've never been in that situation, but it's relatable. Hurry Up is very infectious.
Yeah.
You hear it once, you're going to hear it a gazillion times, and it's not going to leave you.
Scott does some good riffs in this song, like always.
Amen. My next honorable mention, and my final honorable mention, is a song called Fantasy featuring Amber Liu, I think. If I'm butchering the pronunciation,
I think it's Amber Liu.
Sorry. This is a fun feature. Amber is part of an old K-pop girl group that has since disbanded. So this feature is very interesting. It's the only feature on the album except for Everything, which is more of a production feature, I believe.
Yeah, she actually sings.
Yeah, she sings on it and she gives us a little bit of a rap. I believe she was a rapper in her girl group.
I really like her feature on this song.
Yeah. This instrumental is addicting. It's a bit pots and pansy in a good way. Like there's just like noises sometimes.
Yeah, the beat does kind of sound pots and pansy.
This song sounds like jumping.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that's because they jump a lot in the music video. Also, this is a music video that came out after Guy.exe where the budget for the music video is significantly lowered because they're just dancing in front of a yellow backdrop. But I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
It's just very fun. I think their chemistry with Amber is good and great, and I like listening to it, and the lyrics are fun. It's just, I need you now, we're living in a fantasy.
Yeah, the chorus is really fun. I just want to throw in another sorry Scott Hoying. There's something that he does in this song that has stuck with me for years. And I think it's the second verse.
That's his verse, yes.
So, okay, the lyrics are up and down, side to side. We could do this all the time. The next lyrics that I'm about to say, I did not know until looking at the lyrics
I know what
tonight.
you're talking about, yeah.
He says, just your lips, twisted right. I knew the twisted right part.
I thought it was jut it left.
Literally, okay, I'm going to move away from my mic a little bit so I can do like a little impersonation of this.
Love it.
Just for context, if you don't want to listen to this song, Scott Hoying I'm government naming him for this.
Not the government name.
He goes,
That was so dirty, Sophia.
No, it's not, because that's what he does. He goes, it's like he has like his Scott Hoying growl in there, and it's like
he really growls on it.
Yeah. And it's like all and I'm like, Scott, what are you saying to me right there? And I did not know until I was looking at the lyrics tonight, because I forgot that I am so confused by that part. Because he does the pre-chorus also after that verse. Mm-hmm. And it's good. He places his growl very well. He just is very aggressive on that one lyric.
He just was really feeling the just your lip. That's so funny.
It's just that one lyric. Listen. Scott, I'm sorry. Scott, I'm sorry.
Listen, I don't even think we need to understand what he's saying. It's like Ariana language.
Because I forget about it every single time. Like, and then I hear it and I'm like, ha ha ha. And then he does the pre-chorus so well that I'm like, oh, okay.
Could you imagine if he was just like, just your lips?
Yeah, I don't like
right.
There is not a way that I can imagine this song without that weird growl in there, because it's part of this. Like, it's part of it.
Oh my God. I mean, I think you've said it. I think you've concluded this track very well. They did something with this track, definitely. I do think that's very funny, though, because I was thinking about that specifically, too, but I couldn't put it into words the way you put it in. I also am shocked that those are the lyrics, because, like I said, I thought the lyrics were jut it left, twist it right. Like, it was like, this is directions. Which sounds, what does jut mean? Like, I heard it as like J-U-T.
Yeah.
Just jut.
Jutting is like moving something in it, like quickly in a direction. Jut it left, twist it right.
Does it not?
Is this bop it?
Pull it. Well, that's all we have for honorable mentions. We've pretty much talked this album to death, so I'm going to throw this over to Sophia, but what are your overall thoughts and opinions on Future Friends by Superfruit?
Okay, well, I think you guys know that I have a positive opinion on this album.
What?
I'm very biased going in. This album is everything, and I think that it absolutely stands the test of time. It's been 4 years since I've listened to it. 4 years later, I love it. I'm sad that they didn't commit to Superfruit and release more things, because their voices sound so good together. And it's a partnership that you don't get in Pentatonics. Not to sit here and flame Pentatonics. Sorry, everyone.
Not the flaming.
But their voices sound so good together, and they made magic with this project. Exposing myself again, I don't like Pentatonics. I think they're a little bit overplayed. But Scott and Mitch were really onto something with this. And I, fell in love with their YouTube channel, fell in love with this project at like a sweet spot in my life. Like, it's like they really knew what they were doing when they released this, Amen. Basically. But anyways, revisiting their channel and this album just like left me wanting more from the two of them. So overall, 4 years later, I'm giving this album a 9 out of 10 with my chest.
I'm going to try not to talk your ear off, because I could talk about this album for 3 million years and what it means to me specifically.
We already have been doing that, Jared.
I know, but 3 million more years? Do we really have time for that?
We have all the time in the world.
The world is going to end in 30.
If Scott Hoying's listening.
You're right. Hi, Scott.
Hey,
I'm sorry, Scott.
I'm so sorry.
This album is just very important to me. I hold it so near and dear to my heart. It has a lot of sentimental meaning to me. Mm-hmm. For context on just like my life specifically, this came out at a time where I was really unsure of my identity. I had just started dating a guy for the first time in my life, was still in the closet. Mm-hmm. So I was listening to this album a lot, and it made me feel like I belonged. It made me feel like everything I was feeling was valid. And when I was outed in 2018, it was still there to comfort me. It's still there to hold my hand. And as I said earlier, I've grown up on Pentatonics, and I grew up on Superfruit on YouTube. And like, I was there every week waiting for a video from Skomish.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Skomish.
I know. I remember the day this album came out, I drove to my nearest Target hoping I could buy it physically in person. Mm-hmm. And when Target wasn't holding it, I threw a fit. I was so pissed. I went home and I ordered it on Amazon, and it still sits on my bookshelf to this day. Revisiting the album as a whole has been really fun. It's brought back the good memories, the bad memories, the everything, in a way that like it's a great reflection of like where I was 4 years ago and where I am now. I was able to reconnect with some people, laugh about my ex-boyfriend, and just, all the fun stuff. But to get on to the actual album, I've said it a gazillion times and I'll say it a gazillion more, but this album is pure pop perfection front to back. There is not a bad song on this album. There may be some songs that are slower. One we didn't touch on. I'm not like the hugest fan of Keep You Coming, but it's not like I don't hate it enough to call it a least favorite. Yeah. I don't hate it. I still listen to it. It's just like not at the same caliber maybe, but that's fine. Like to have the only like songs that I'm not like super vibey with being at the like final tracks of like their respective EPs and then on this album, that's mind-blowing, especially for a debut album. There's not a moment on this album where I feel like my time is wasted by the artist, and there's only like 2 or 3 songs that I don't feel engaged on. Yeah. The album wraps with one of my favorite tracks on the whole album, and then that remix of Future Friends, which we didn't talk on, but it just brings a different take on that song.
And it is very good.
Yes, the arrangement is great. It has a whole choir on it, and it's just like, it was necessary. We just don't cover remixes in length on this podcast. But overall, this debut is so strong. They are both incredible artists. I wish they would pick up this project and work on some music again. I just want more. I've been starving for more content from them since 2017. They gave us a cover, or I think it was either a cover of a song or an original song on Valentine's Day of 2019. But ever since then, it's been radio silence on Superfruit. Yeah. I own this physically on CD. I would love to see a vinyl release. I wasn't going to do this, but I think I have to. Just how much this album means to me and how just objectively good this album is, especially as a debut album. I really didn't want to do this, but I have to give this album a 10 out of 10, I think. Yeah! There's nothing I can complain about on this album.
I completely agree with that.
Like, there's no moment where I feel like as a consumer I'm being jaded. Yeah. There's nothing I can ask more of on any of these tracks. I don't have any complaints of like they're doing too much. They're doing the perfect amount. They did everything that they needed to do and more. Yes. Like they truly understood the assignment when making this project. And I need a Future Friends Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 6. There's not much more I could say. I mean, to wrap up all my thoughts, I almost skipped a very important event in my college career to set up my college career to go see them on tour. Like, that's how obsessed I am with this album. And nothing has changed 4 years later. I would drop everything to see them perform this live today. Yes. Yeah. I would literally drop out of college to see them perform this tomorrow. So please please don't announce a tour tomorrow, Scott and Mitch, for Superfruit.
Scott's like, we're coming to Nebraska.
Scott's like, sorry, Scott. No, sorry, you.
They tweet from like both of their Twitters and they're like, University of Nebraska, Lincoln, here we come.
To wrap up my word vomit there. Yeah. Very good album. Pop perfection. Nothing more I can want from it. Nothing less I could want from it. It did everything it needed to do and more. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have a lot of memories wrapped up in this album. I mean, mainly from me like singing it just all the time. Yeah. But I also think that there is a video like somewhere in my Snapchat memories of me trying my best to like clean and do laundry while listening to this. I've talked about this on this podcast before, but there are certain albums or certain songs that I can't listen to while trying to be productive because I will just sing them instead of doing my work. It's this whole album, and it's also like the Waitress soundtrack that Sarah Bareilles produced. Either of those. Like I can't be productive. Anyways, I'm playing, I think it's Imaginary Parties on my Bluetooth speaker. I run into my mother's room while she was like out of town for work, probably. Our late dog, Cooper, is on his bed, like chilling. I run in blasting Imaginary Parties on my speaker while recording. I have it super loud. Cooper is looking at me like I'm insane. And I just scream, it's party time. and then the video ends.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it.
This album gives me so much serotonin. Revisiting it was a blast from the past. Even though it's only been 4 years, this album objectively is still relatively young. But it's crazy to think about my life 4 years ago to my life now.
That was a complete different person.
Yeah.
This album is an album that...
Oh my God, you're so right.
If I were told there was only one album on earth that I could listen to for the rest of my life, this might be the one I would choose.
Oh my gosh, hot take.
It would be a difficult decision because I need some Ariana Grande in my life.
Or like some Lil Nas X.
Or some Lil Nas X or like SZA or Victoria Monet.
I do think that Montero could get me through a desert island experience.
Yeah. I think this album has just the amount of like low moments that it would keep me rooted.
Yeah.
But so many party moments where I'd be like, okay, I'm on an island. Like, you know, I would just be streaming Vacation on repeat.
Oh my God.
And I'd be like, everything is fine.
No, Jared, that's so depressing. Take it back. No, Jared, that's so depressing.
Anyways, I've been talking for a decade. I apologize. But that is all of our thoughts on Future Friends by Superfruit. Sorry, Scott. This was a great experience just to live in this album again. And I'm very glad that we were able to do it together.
Aw. Jared.
I'm going to cry.
Hot take.
But of course, we want to hear what you think. What about Future Friends by Superfruit rubbed you the right way? Did anything rub you the wrong way? Do we have to apologize to Scott for you?
Sorry, Scott.
Let us know on our social medias at Sick Beats with JS.
Not SJ.
And also, if you have any ideas of what we should listen to in the future, let us know there as well.
Time for everybody's favorite time of the week, favorite time of the episode. It's time for Sick Beats Charts.
Sick Beats Charts.
Sick Beats
Sick
Charts.
Beats Charts.
Yeah.
Hey.
So for those of you that don't know, every week Jared and I make a playlist of 10 songs to share with you guys. And they're just songs that we happen to be listening to a lot that week. And we share our top 3 songs with you so that we're not talking at you for 10 billion years like we have been with this album.
Yeah. And there's always a bit of repeats from last week on the charts. A lot of songs from the album that we listened to in the week on the charts. So we try to keep it in our top 3 just so we can respect your time and not give you a 2.5 hour episode.
Yes. So Jared, what's your number 3 this week?
My third favorite song this week is Tia Tamara by Doja Cat featuring Rico Nasty.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know how this song got into my rotation this week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I lied. I do. I was playing a playlist on my Spotify called Songs That I Would Drive My Car Off a Cliff To.
Yes.
Naturally. Normal playlist title. And this song is on there, and I listened to it once, and then I hit, when you can repeat a playlist, but if you hit that button again, it repeats just the song. I listened to the song for the first time in a while, and I hit that button. I made sure it was only repeating the song, and I was driving my car, and I'm screaming, "Hair grow long like Chia, money grow long like Nia," and I'm screaming. I'm getting in a car accident and everything. Just kidding. I just really like the pen game on this song. Yeah. In all honesty, Doja kills it. I mean, every single line in this song, in her verse, rhymes. And it's they said, "Doja hit so sticky." I said, "Thank you very much." Bent the whole world over and said, "Spank you very much." Cheese like pizzeria. Have a seat, bitch, please. IKEA. And it's just those play on words. It's just so goofy. Play in a good way.
I love that about Doja.
My favorite lyric from her, I'm gonna PG it, but she goes, "Beat the kitty up, call PETA."
I wonder how you PG'd that.
I just think it's just so funny. And Rico takes that energy and keeps it going. At the beginning of her verse, she's like, "He just want to eat me like some candy, but I'm not his buttercup. These hoes swear that they can't stand me, but ain't never pulling up. I just made 100K in 2 weeks. Little bitch, do you need me to pull it up?"
Oh my gosh, and that was so much feeling.
Love the energy. Well, she delivers it with so much feeling. It's just... This song is such a great song to just scream at the top of your lungs while driving at a respectful speed. This song's just very infectious. I can't get it out of my ears. It's a great energy builder for my days. I have been playing it a lot this week, so that's why it's here on my chart.
That's a good number 3.
Sophia, what's your number 3?
My number 3 this week is actually a song that Jared and I just listened to tonight. So I can't say very much about it. Just hear me out, you guys. Just hear me out. It's called More Than a Dream, and it's by Bill Wirtz. And if you don't know who Bill Wirtz is, he did History of the Entire World, I guess, which is a banger of a video. It's so good. Bill Wirtz is so like funny and silly and goofy and quirky.
Yeah.
Unironically.
I love it.
He just like lives his life in a constant state of like, I'm quirky. A lot of people are surprised because his songs are kind of considered comedy and they're not like really taken seriously. But he comes out with a video for every song and it's more of like all of his videos are animations. But the production level that goes into them, they're so intricate. Every single one is incredibly intricate and has to take so long. Even just recording the songs themselves. He does lots of vocal layering. He plays with effects a lot. He's also, oh gosh, what's the song that got famous from him on TikTok? Don't get me started.
I just did a bad thing.
Yes, it's that one.
The thing I did.
So if you're like a mainstream Gen Zer and that's how you know him instead of History of the Entire World, I guess, because you're not cool. I mean, I'm sorry.
Those are the generations. History of the Entire World, I guess, and TikTok Gen Zer. I regret the thing I did.
This is his newest song. He put it out 2 days ago. Yeah. It's very recent. But it's really good. You should go watch the video. Go to his YouTube channel. It's really good. I'm actually obsessed. There's a song by him called I'm a Princess. You guys, it's so good. Anyways, that's my number 3 this week. I can't say much more about it.
I edit videos for a living, and I dread the idea of touching a Bill Wirtz video.
He also, I think, edits on Final Cut Pro, which is like being aged out.
Yeah, Final Cut Pro is difficult.
As we speak. And he has said he has said in multiple interviews that he refuses to edit on anything different. So once Final Cut Pro dies.
He dies?
I think so.
No.
Because he said that he refuses to learn like the newer version of the program. He's using an old version because he likes it and he knows how to use it.
That's fair. The way that he was able to pump out like a video a week at the caliber of like the complication of it all.
You guys really need to go to his YouTube channel because like just us talking about it, you won't understand the production that goes into each of his songs.
For real. Sorry, Scott. This is Bill Wirtz's episode
Sorry, Scott. We're talking about Bill Wirtz.
My second favorite song this week is Easy on Me by Adele. We talked about it a little bit earlier, like 3 hours ago. But I really like this song. It's your classic standard Adele. I mean, she's not doing anything new or different or exciting, but it's just
still
good.
Works.
Apparently, the song is about her divorce, but written towards her child and being like, please go easy on me. Like, I understand, like, this is a situation, but, like, this is something, like, I had to do kind of a thing. Like, like an apology note to her son. I feel like if I heard this song in 5th grade when my parents were getting a divorce, I would have actually, like, died. Like, actually, like, passed away. She's serving vocals on vocals. Her voice just continues to sound as rich as it did in the past and somehow richer. She's just so great.
I don't have any more words on this because I'm, spoiler alert, you'll hear me mention this song in a bit. But yeah, this was a fantastic comeback for Adele. My number 2 this week is also a song that we have already talked about. It is Everything by Superfruit. There's no way I could go listening to Future Friends without something ending up on my chart. This is such a good throwback. I just had such a good time with a few of the songs on this album, so they end up on my chart. To figure out what else from Future Friends is on my chart, make sure that you look at our social medias and follow us at SickBeatsWithJS. To figure out what other song I put on my chart. Oh my gosh, it's a mystery.
I also have 3 songs from Future Friends on my charts.
Oh, I only have 2.
Oh, I'm overachieving. You're welcome, Scott. Yeah, everything is really good. I've talked about it to death. You've talked about it to death. We don't really
Yes.
have anything else to say on
No,
that.
I don't have
but
any more words. It's just amazing.
It belongs on a chart.
La 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 la.
In honor of throwing back to the olden times, my number one song this week is Be Good to Me by Ashley Tisdale. Hi, 2007. How are you? So this song recently resurfaced in my brain. I was scrolling on my For You page on TikTok. I'm sorry.
Ew.
But
kidding.
somebody was like, we did this song wrong. Why didn't we celebrate this song? And I feel like this song resurfaces every year. Be Good to Me by Ashley Tisdale has a very like retro sound, especially like from a 2007 perspective, it has a retro sound. Like it is like a 90s like R&B pop track. The content of the song is very fun. It's just like her kind of like tossing around like situations about the man she's with and being like, I like you, but like you don't do things for me, kind of a thing. Why can't you be good to me? Essentially. And I wrote specifically from the second verse, I like, what's the point of making plans? You break all the ones we've had. And it's just that like not feeling like you're a like big deal to this person and they're supposed to be your significant other.
Yeah.
This bridge is very strong. She goes like, where do we go from here? You've gotten on my skin and I don't know how to get out of this place that I'm in. And she just serves the most vocals I've heard from like a 2007 Disney track. And then she just ad-libs over it, the chorus at the end. And we did Ashley Tisdale dirty by not letting this song grow and not letting Ashley Tisdale be a pop baddie.
Yeah.
Because if that's what she wanted, she deserves it and she should be a pop baddie. Everything about this song has been very enjoyable to re-listen to this week. It is the first song I play when I think about playing music. This song I can map out perfectly on my drives to areas. So I like whenever I drive past like a certain intersection, I'm like, oh, this is the bridge with the song. It's like weird, but it's so good. I'm obsessed with it. It's very infectious. It keeps resurfacing. It resurfaced this week. It's a throwback week. It had to be number one on my chart.
I love that. That's so fun. My number one this week is
Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley.
Oh my God, how'd you guess?
Oh my God.
That's insane. Yeah, so my number one this week is No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, get rickrolled. My number one this week is Easy on Me by Adele. You guys may know from our first couple episodes that I am forever an Adele stan. I'm obsessed with this woman. I've been waiting for her to come back. You guys know that we've been excited about this comeback. I did not know that this was about her divorce, but now looking at the lyrics, it makes sense. She sounds so good. And I watched her 73 questions with Vogue, but it was actually like 73 plus questions because she hinted at the title of this album before she released it. But she was talking about her surgery that she had to get on her throat. And they asked her how her voice compared from before the surgery to after. And she said that before, it was starting to kind of hurt to sing and her voice was getting really like husky and raspy. And she said after the surgery and after recovery, which took longer than she was anticipating.
Yeah.
But apparently John Mayer gave her a bunch of advice on how to recover because he had the same thing happen to him.
Oh man.
She said that it is now more clear and healthier than ever. And you can hear that
you can definitely
in this
hear
song. This song paired with the music video, something, the trilogy ended and she's starting something new. And it's very evident. The chorus of this song gets stuck in my head so often. It's been constantly playing in my head. It's just, go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. I had no time to choose what I chose to do. So go easy on me. And it's so mature. And I don't know if you guys have been picking up on this, but I'm getting older. I'm reaching the ripe old age of 20. I've been seeking songs that have more mature subject matters. And you guys kind of are aware of me just being bothered by younger artists releasing songs that are about growing up and going through heartbreak and being angry. I don't resonate with that. I'm in a healthy relationship, maybe I would have resonated with it if, you know, like I was still in high school, but I'm not. I'm an adult. I do things on my own now. And
it's not what you're shopping for.
Yeah. Adele coming back with this kind of energy just is like what I needed, because I'm growing as a person and I need somebody to sing grown things and grown ideas at me.
I feel that. I'm really shocked actually to hear about her surgery. I had no idea that happened, and you can't even tell that there was something wrong with her voice.
Yeah. Well, and I was so young, I didn't realize that she took so much time away because she had surgery.
Yeah.
I didn't know literally like until she came out with 25. Like I didn't realize until like I one day like sat back and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, we haven't gotten any new Adele. And I think when Hello came out, like, my mom and I were floored, first of all, because Hello, like, broke the world for a second.
Yeah.
Because the glorious thing about Adele is that ever since her, like, first long hiatus, she doesn't market things until they were already complete. She just disappears.
She doesn't need the whole huge rollout.
No, because she's just Adele.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's all she has
so powerful.
To be. Yeah. The last thing that I'll mention is her voice in the bridge of this song. When she says, I had good intentions, and her voice like breaks up on that high note where she's like, I had, and it's like, it breaks right there. And it's like, oh, she is sobbing her way through this song, and she's begging you just to please, please, please go easy on me. Please, I didn't know, and now I do. Please.
And like, it sucks, but this is the choice that has to be made, kind of a thing.
Yeah. But in the bridge it says, I had good intentions and the highest hopes, but I know right now it probably doesn't even show. And then she goes into the last chorus, which is broken down. And this is the perfect Adele comeback. It's so good. I have nothing more to say.
I agree entirely. Cool. That was our Sick Beats charts for this week.
Yes.
Let us know what you think. Did you think I was on the right wavelength by throwing back and bringing us some Ashley Tisdale this week? Or are you on Sofia's side and think Easy on Me should have been number one?
Hey, I'm not mad at your throwback.
Me neither. I'm just trying to get some juicy questions up
here. Oh my gosh, hot take.
But let us know what you're listening to this week. Are you also only listening to Adele?
Or could you care less? Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of Sick Beats with Jared and Sophia. We hope you liked it. And if you want to continue discussing music with us, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on whatever podcast platform you use. And make sure to follow our social medias on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Sick Beats with JS.
Not SJ. Sorry, Scott.
We'll be announcing next week's album on Wednesday on all of our social media, so please make sure you go follow us to be on the lookout.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. It was it's a little bit of a longer episode, so we appreciate you for sticking it out and enjoying this throwback with us.
Sorry we talked to you for so long. But until then, thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you more next week. Scott! I'm sorry! Scott, please.
You felt this one coming, and so did I.
Did your lips twisted right? Scott, I'm sorry.